How are we doing, everybody? This is Happy Wheels Cars and Stuff, and today we are replacing the intercooler in your Fiesta ST. The tools you'll need for this job will be a ratchet, a T20 Torx bit, 7mm socket or wrench, a U-joint socket adapter, socket extension, flat tip screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, and an 8mm socket. First, go ahead and roll the car onto ramps and put chocks behind it. Now, you're going to go under the steering wheel and pull the hood latch. Make sure to prop the hood up before going any further. Now you're going to remove the two bolts with a flat tip screwdriver, then use a Phillips head and pry tool to remove the pop clip. And finally, remove the headlight connector by pressing on the tab facing towards the inside of the car and pull away. After the headlight is unsecured, pull it towards the back and lift up. Once the rear of the headlight is out of the notch, wiggle the rest of it up until it pops out. Next, remove these two Phillips head pop clips. Then remove the three 8mm bolts within the fenders on each side of the vehicle. I recommend using this ratchet setup to make this easier. Once those bolts are removed, move under the bumper and remove the five 7mm bolts that are under there. Now move on to removing the one 7mm bolt and two T20 Torx bolts from each fender well. Next, remove the fog light connectors by pressing on the tab and pulling down. Now, start removing the bumper from the fenders, and make sure the tabs below the bumper release prior to fully removing. Next, you're going to remove the five 8mm bolts from the lower air diverter. Now go ahead and fully remove the air diverter. Once you're finished with that, take your flat tip screwdriver and loosen the intercooler hose clamps. Then remove the two 8mm bolts from below the intercooler that hold it in place. After these bolts are removed, pop the intercooler out of the upper grommet holes and then fully remove the intercooler. Before installing your new intercooler, be sure to swap your stock rubber grommets onto it. If your new intercooler came with air diverters, be sure to install those before attaching the intercooler to the car. Now make sure the inlet and outlet are uncovered. For my install, I had to remove the stock upper air diverter from the vehicle. To do so, remove the following five Phillips head screws. Next, it's time to install your new intercooler by first pushing the top into the grommet holes, then securing the hoses to the inlet and outlet. After the intercooler is attached, secure it with the two lower bolts. Now ensure the intercooler and hoses are properly secured before moving on. You don't want to have to do this all over again. Then move on to reinstalling the lower air diverter. Once that's reattached, you can put the bumper back into place. Make sure to line up the lower tabs, as well as tuck the plastic shield into the bumper. Now that the bumper is back in place, begin securing it with the inner 8mm fender bolts. When the fender bolts are secured, install the 5 7mm bolts to the lower part of the bumper. Next, you're going to reinsert the 2 pop clips to the top of the bumper. Then move on to reinserting the fog light connectors. Once that's finished, put the headlights back into place by first pushing the front under the lip. Then pull back until the rear tab can be inserted into the locking hole. Once it's in, pull forward to lock it into place. From there, reinstall the 2 bolts and 1 pop clip into the headlight. When the headlights are tightened down, move on to reinserting the headlight connectors. Once this is done, your job is complete. Now, if you want to make your intercooler more visible, go ahead and pull off the plastic cover from the bumper. This is able to snap on and off, so don't worry about breaking it at all. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you want to check out one of my other videos, click the link in the top left. If you want to watch the exhaust before and after, top right. Have a good one.